Welcome everybody, I'm Raetac and this is the world tour of my Galactic Science 2 mod pack world. It is currently the 14th of September 2017. Right, as we can see, well, you can't really see much. It doesn't look like there's much. But if you've been following me through the actual Let's Play world, and if you've been following me through my streams, you know things have been changing. Namely, there isn't quite so much here anymore. The sifter is gone. There's a few synthesizers that have disappeared also. We now have a slime brought back from Mars. He is growing quite nicely. He seems to be stuck in a chest, however. I have no idea what happens when the slime grows to full growth. But let's just hop up here. You can possibly tell that there's a few machines that have gone missing from here as well. And a few things that have been disconnected. Why is this? Because with the advent of getting to Mars and having the capabilities to start working with Applied Energistics 2, I have decided to take on the mammoth task of rebuilding everything. And it was just too hard to try and do it within this space, so I've decided that our bottom floor will be dedicated to reworking everything. So, of course, thanks to Kathleen deciding that we are having channelless Applied Energistics, it doesn't matter when it comes to networking and whatnot. We can just run AE cable wherever and just have as many things on the said cables wherever we go. So that's fine. That's great. I can work with this. So, we've got our sifter here. We currently do have a quarry happening on the moon that's delivering us moon rock, so we are able to keep pushing in fluid, so that's great. Now, I found, working with the machineries, that I needed signalium. Now, the only way I was going to get signalium was working it through the alloy mixers. Of course. Now, unfortunately, the recipe that we have with Galactic Science 2 in the current patch, the alloy mixer to make signalium requires foundry-based liquid silver and foundry-based liquid copper. So with that, I've had to take the thermodynamics molten silver, turn it back into our chemical composite, feed that through this chemical synthesizer here, and turn it into we'll basically turn it into ingots, to feed those ingots into an induction furnace, which melts the ingots down into the foundry liquid. Then we can use that to make the signalium. Now, I have also had to do the exact same thing. Actually, no, it seems as though the liquid copper. Yes, I had to do exactly the same thing with the liquid copper. Take our molten copper, make it, break it, or basically decompose it down to the Minechem composite, recombine it into an ingot, put that ingot, of course, through the foundry crucible furnace, so we get the right kind of liquid, and I'm using storage buses here, so we're not storing excess amounts of. Oh, pardon me, I just got a text from the better half. Yes, so we're using storage buses on the exit of these processes, so we're not storing excess items / liquids in our limited storage space. So we're using what we're making. So we're not having import buses here. We're just basically taking stuff as we need them. So that's all going into this LO mixer. We have a fluid export bus here. I probably didn't need to use so many fluid buses, because I believe there's a third one. I could have used a capacity card, but oh well. I just realized that. That was kind of inefficient of me. Probably won't do anything with that. So again, using a storage bus here, and liquid, liquid export bus. So we're pulling from the LO mixer down into here, this metal caster. As soon as it requests liquid signalium, when it's got the capabilities to export that, it's pulling it down from the LO mixer. And of course, we have a ME storage bus linked up here, and that has got the capabilities to pull out signalium for auto crafting when we get to said stage. Speaking of auto crafting, moving right along. So we've got that set up. I believe the next stage, I had to look at breaking down my old machinery. Now, the first thing that I looked at was my redstone process. So we've got oxygen in our current AE system coming from the farms. That was fine. The copper, we've already got a source of copper, and I added a storage bus onto that decomposer. That means I could pull the chemical form of copper whenever I needed to. I had to add in another decomposer here for iron, of course, using another storage bus, having the ability to pull iron from the decomposer whenever I needed to, even though I do have iron within the AE2 system from decomposing cobblestone, which I've been doing quite a fair bit. So the first stage of the redstone, we have got an ME interface with a processing pattern, because we were given the pattern terminal here using process patterns. Place that above the chemical synthesizer, and using the wrench, right clicking on that until we get an arrow pointing down into the top of this thing. Okay, then taking the chemist journals for the iron oxide, and just a straight import bus. Now, what this will do, if I call for an autocraft of iron oxide, it's going to dump 128 iron and 192 oxygen. That's 2 stacks of iron, 3 stacks of oxygen in there to make 64 iron oxide. That will then be pulled into the buffer of the autocraft, and that is getting taken into this ME interface, autocrafting some more. To craft 64 redstone, we'll take 64 copper, the mine can copper, and the 64 iron oxide that we've just made, and dump that into this synthesizer, and then it will suck those pieces of redstone into storage. So we have the capabilities to auto-craft redstone through AE2. Fantastic. Now, then after that, we needed to really step up I wanted to get extra flexibility within the AE2 network, because I've got too many liquid types that I would like to store. Now, with the liquid types, with the liquid cells, so if I go, actually, 4K fluid, the actual fluid storage itself, we need fluid storage components. which require a storage component, which we've covered before, and a drum. The drum, we have to make in an assembling machine. The assembling machine, which is all sorts of fun also, requires, okay, blocks of dash, we've got that in spades, so that's fine. These advanced circuits. Now, this aluminum block, now that was the fun part. We need aluminum ingots. Now, I managed to find the chemical synthesis recipe for, it says aluminum ingots here, but when we actually put these into a synthesizer, interesting. Phosphorus, let's just test. That's interesting. Tin. Let's grab a stack of tin. Because what I was getting beforehand, when I did this whole process, the Minecam recipe was giving me aluminum blend for some reason. And which I was actually taking that aluminum blend and just basically smelting it down to get the ingot. But it seems as though... I don't think I've actually put it... Really? That's the pattern? I haven't actually put a recipe book in for this. Why is that? Perhaps that's something I have to go in and fix. Maybe. Well, how about we just do that? We'll do it live. I may have to change up a process. Right, where's my microscope? There you are. So, aluminum blend, well actually aluminum ingots. So now that book knows that recipe. It's very interesting. I must have forgotten. So we're going to have to change this recipe up just slightly. Okay, so we'll just clear that out, put 32 blocks in there. Right, clear that. We still have the recipe, fantastic. Encode. That's all what processing patterns are all about. So we're just going to grab this pattern, clear that out. We'll store that back into there. And let's test. Let's craft 2 stacks, say. We have everything available. So that's started. Yep. It looks like everything is done. Let's just check the crafting status. No crafting job active, so all done. Fantastic. Now, 32 blocks of this stuff is, I think, if I recall correctly, somewhere in the order of about 270 ingots. Actually, exactly 270 ingots. Or thereabouts. Was it 32? No. It was, I can't remember. I don't rightfully recall. It's actually probably more around about the 280, 290 ingots that we need for the 32 blocks. Just to make the thing so we can make drums, so we can make fluid storage. That's where I'm at. So the live streams are pretty much I'm going upstairs, taking a process, bringing it downstairs, and basically reinstalling it. And basically starting to move forward. I'm probably going to move my laser tables to here, and we can start automating that, because I'm starting to get to the point where I need to think about automating pistons, automating pistons and automating slime. Slime is a big one. So, and we do have a chemical recipe for slime, albeit the slime synthesizing compounds is quite lengthy. Almost as lengthy as the Fluix crystals, actually. So that's going to be fun. That's where we are at with Galactic Science 2. Just remember, if you'd like to see some of the live streams previous to this episode, I will have those links to those down in the description. And if you want to catch up with the Galactic Science 2 streams and also Modern Skyblock 2 streams, do go over to twitch.tv/Raetac and follow me there. Alright folks, well, I've been Raetac. I'll see you next time.